You said that recently you've been a bit more like proactive in terms of like being open to receiving, especially around, you know, social environments for guys and stuff. Have you ever, approach guys at all?
I think, can I confer with my friend? When we were at that bar, did I approach that guy? I didn't know. I called him over. Yeah.
You called him over? Yeah. How did that go? What did you do?
It was really good. Like we had like fun, we had chats.
Now, how did you do it?
Oh, so I felt like we'd been looking at each other for a while. And then whilst he was at the bar over there and I was at the bar like way around the corner. So I was like, come here, come and chat to us. And he did.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Is that who you were yesterday?
Yeah. We didn't actually exchange numbers. So,
okay.
But it was fun. Like it was fun. And I think this is the thing as well, like taking the pressure off. It's like, it's just about connection. Like it's so much fun to meet new people. And I love like meeting new women as well as men. Like I'm straight, but I mean like in the terms of like, could be friendship. It could just be like fun. It could be, so I think, you know, it's just nice to connect with people. And I have like, I do some women's only events. So I did a wellbeing event at the start of May, like for women only. And it's just so much fun. I've done a brunch event and honestly, it was wild because I feel like when there's no men, like women's inhibitions are just like, cool.
It's the same for men.
You know, it started off like everyone was kind of like this. And honestly, by the end, everyone was like whining on eeach other. It was just like a whole madness, but so much fun. Like everyone was like, oh, it's so great. Yeah. And I recently, so that was last year. And I was at, I host a singles event called Boda, Board of Dating Apps. And two of the girls came and they'd met at my brunch and they're now best friends. And I was like, see? So I think, yeah, I'll just make kind of like a little joke with somebody or, you know, kind of, I did it on Wednesday as well, like, and ended up having a really great conversation with someone. Yeah. So I think, you know, it's just nice to, and you don't know, like, you know, like if you've got like a gym crush or like someone that you see at work or on your way to work, but you're too scared to talk to them. You build like this whole like fancy about them and I really like them and there's all of this. Yes. And then the moment you talk to them, you're like, oh, actually, no. So that's why I think sometimes it's better to just get it out the way, you know, rather than wasting that kind of like energy, like fantasizing and, you know, kind of all of these expectations build up. Yeah. Just talk to them like they're a human. And I find it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you don't fancy them, you will happily talk to them and have a conversation with them. When you do fancy them, you're like, ugh. So I think we have to try and just take away the fact that there's like an attraction there and just start conversations. Yeah. How do you maybe even encourage women to do that? Because I think from a lot of women I talk to, they're like, oh, I could never make the first move. Like the man's supposed to make it, etc. But then, you know. But then a lot of guys I speak to are like, I'm too scared to make the first move. Because, a lot of guys are scared too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what guys say. Yeah. Yeah. Guys say to me. So then, and at that point, it's kind of like, okay, well, that means you're only limiting yourself to the people who come to you. Or dating apps, as opposed to being like, okay, this is someone who has intrigued me. Let me go and create the opportunity. I feel like I grew up before like social media. So being like nearly 41, when I was like going out clubbing and, you know, doing all of that. Do people even call it clubbing now? So when I realized when I was 16, it was still clubbing. So like you're going out and you're meeting people and it would always be the same thing. You'd be out with like one of your mates or a couple of your mates. Someone else would be out with a couple of your mates. Two of them would end up talking at the bar. Then your groups would start hanging out together. So then at the end of the night, you'd start swapping numbers. Like it was so much more sociable, right? Yes. So I feel like because I've grown up in that time, you know, look, everyone has their own rules and regulations of how they expect to be treated with dating. And that's entirely up to you and that's fine. But I think, you know, sometimes just giving somebody the permission to approach you 100% is a big deal. And if they don't, they don't, right? But I think if you're like, you know, if you want to meet somebody, you have to understand that other person can't read your mind. You know, they also might feel a bit intimidated by you. They might have the same way that you fancy people and then feel really awkward. Yeah. They might be feeling exactly like that. Like they're a human too. So I think you have to give people grace. And, you know, like that feeling of you see someone and you fancy them and then the opportunity is gone because they've left and then you're like, oh, where have they gone? Or they start talking to somebody else and you're like, damn, I should have done it. Like I should have just made the move, right? So I think, and again, like you make the move, you start talking to them and you're like, oh no, not for me. And then it's done. But otherwise, sometimes if you don't do that, you leave that and you're thinking, oh, I should have done that. And it bugs you, you know? Yes. Yeah. So 100%. I think sometimes it's better to just do it. I think in a gym, I think only women should approach. I don't think men should approach in gym.
But I think it depends how guys do it, because I've had some really great chat, not like people trying to flirt with me. Well, I'm sure maybe they are trying to flirt with me, but not like aggressively flirt with me, just normal, nice conversations with guys in the gym. And I really like it. And in fairness, that like an example would be a guy was like, can you look after my bench while I go to the toilet, right? Because he didn't want to lose the bench. So I was like, okay. And then he took his headphones off and put them on the bench. And I was like, do you not trust me to look after the bench? Like, you feel like you need to put your headphones there? I'm quite dry and sarcastic. And he found it funny. Then he went to the toilet, and then we just had a really nice conversation. And sometimes that's enough, you know, like, and it's just nice. It's nice to connect with someone that you wouldn't normally connect with.
I agree in that sense, and being open to connecting and conversing with people. That's not what I'm saying. But I think when I say approach, I mean a guy engaging in conversation with you with the intention of potentially hanging out another time where romantic could be there. And the reason I say that is because, well, they started having like women's only gyms. And I think there's so many women have expressed about not feeling comfortable in the gym, that it's kind of like, even if a guy, you know, maybe even looks her way, that can make her feel very self-conscious, right? I mean, we've seen so many videos online of like guys looking at women in the gyms and stuff like that. So that's why I think generally, I don't think guys should do it.
But there's a difference between, like, I'm not being funny, if I see a hot girl in the gym, I'm going to look at her. Like, if
100%.
Someone's got a beautiful body, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to acknowledge
but if you're a guy, that would be
but
considered harassment.
No. Right? But there is for me personally, obviously I can't speak for everyone, there's a difference. Someone having a little look at you is fine. It's when they're like, and this happens. That's scary.
I don't disagree, but I think if you've seen the videos,
I've seen those videos,
not just videos, but I think.
But don't you think that just adds to people's fear of like connecting with people? You know, that's not true or representative of everyone, is it? It's a bit of a theme, and then people go, "Oh, that video's got loads of views." Some of them are probably faked as well. Like, that video's got loads of views. Oh, I'm just going to do the same thing so I can get loads of views. I don't think it's representative of everyone. Like, if you're just a human, and you treat people respectfully.
I don't disagree with you, but one thing that, and this is going to be a generalization, but it is true. The thing what guys observe is that the difference between whether, maybe not for you, but for some women, the difference between whether a guy is harassing her or a guy is making a good approach is purely whether she finds him attractive. And as a guy, I don't know if you find me attractive until I make the approach. So this is why I'm saying, especially at the gym, because I've heard from them, that's when they feel the most self-conscious. That's where they just want to work out, etc. Especially at the gym, I don't think guys should approach at all. And if there's like a gym crush that you have or whatever, I think, women can make an approach and they should be able to. And of course, someone just staring at you, of course, that's
but they do that people stare at my vagina. Like, I've had guys stare at my vagina, and I've actually thought, like, I was doing something where I was laying on the floor, and I was like, have I got like a camel toe? Like, I don't know, have I like bled through my leggings? Like, why is he staring at my vagina?
Wow.
And it was over and over again. And the thing with me is, I'll just look at you back, because I'm not going to have you do it. So I don't feel like, obviously in a gym where I go there all the time and I know quite a lot of people, I feel very safe.
Yes.
So if I was like on my own in the street, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't even, you know, interject or try and correct somebody or whatever. But like, I just want them to know that, like, you're staring at my vagina and I can see that you're staring at my vagina. Can you stop now? Like, please stop it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you know, that's a bit much.
That's a lot much.
You know, we don't need to do that. But it's like, he couldn't help it. It was just like, but not at my face, directly at my vagina. And there was nothing, but there was nothing there to see. Like, there was just leggings. Like, because I really believed that something must have been. I was like, have they split? Like, is something, you know? Because it was very like intent.
Have you ever glared at a guy in the gym because he was like really attractive, in great shape or something?
I mean, I've said hi to people in the gym before that I think are cute.
No, just like, you're just looking at a guy, just like, oh, he's actually kind of.
But I wouldn't glare. I would just take, you know, like the odd glance and appreciate, you know, like, sometimes people, you know, you'd like to appreciate a nice.
So you definitely you definitely look at like a really hot girl, but a hot guy, you just glance.
I wouldn't stare at a hot girl either. I wouldn't want to make her feel uncomfortable. I'd just glance, and then, you know, maybe a couple of times glance. I wouldn't want to make her feel like, you know, I was. No,
that's never the intention.
But you don't know, though. You don't know. Like, I think girls, like, when you've grown up and you've had people be bitchy to you or horrible to you, and like, if I've got a resting bitch face and I'm just staring, how does she know if that's with like
That's a good point.
nice intentions or not. So I wouldn't want to ever make someone feel uncomfortable. So it's more just glancing. But what I will say is like the guys that I have connected with at my gym, they make me feel so much, and like obviously there's women as well, but it's so nice to like be able to go there and have people to chat to. Like it's a whole different experience of going to the gym.
I completely agree.
I feel like, you know, there's people I could work out with. There's people we have a laugh with. There's like people that we get employed in. Like, so I've used some of them in my content, and you know, like they're just not like they've been really nice and really helpful. And you know, I don't know. I just think that's not. It's like that feels like community. Do you know what I mean? It feels like creating a.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I was just saying the whole thing of like asking her out.
Yeah, but again, if maybe, you know, who knows what people's intentions are, but can't it just start with you having a conversation with her? And then, you know, if you feel a vibe, then maybe the next time you see her, you have another look. Like, why does it have to be like that full force? Can't you approach somebody, like I was trying to say, without, although you might have a romantic intention, but just approach them as a human and like maybe just, you know, get to know them. Or be curious. Is that not okay? I feel like that's okay.
I think
for
that's,
me.
I think that's definitely okay, for sure. I think what I've heard is that it can seem like they're coming as a friend, then they ask the girl out, and she's like, "Oh, so you were just being fake with me before because this was actually your intention."
Right, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess it's like people's perception, and also it depends how people do it. I think, you know, they're like some guys in their approach can be kind of like quite aggressive or sexually suggestive, or any of those things, and that would make me feel uncomfortable. Like if any of that happened, yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
So I think it, like for me personally, it depends how people do it. And also like if I don't want to chat to you, I can use my body language, etc., to just be very closed and let you know that you know, I don't want to chat to you. But again, I don't think that's every woman, because for some people it might be quite intimidating or it might be quite scary and they don't necessarily know how to like enforce that boundary, or they don't feel safe to.
Sure.
So I think there's lots of different things to take into consideration. I guess it's really nuanced as well. So yeah,
I think my suggestion is I get it's a very safe option. I think.
But what about?
Go on.
Like run clubs now, because like run clubs are becoming like the new dating kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't know that, but okay.
Yeah, so it's like a lot where people go to meet. So I went to is it Pack Run or Run Pack? And there was probably about 200 like people there for this like 5K run.
Yeah.
But again, it's because it's almost like what clubbing used to be like. Everyone's like social and open and chatting to different people. And so you can kind of, it's like very fluid.
I think that's the difference though.
Yeah.
I think a run club is more social.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're going to the gym,
you go on your own.
Like going on your own to train. Does that make sense?
Also like I was talking about board of dating apps, like the singles event, which I think is so needed.
Yeah.
And I think that there used to be like a lot of stigma attached to those kind of things, like only sad losers go, etc. But now like these events, they're so much fun. Like, and there's, you know, it's just normal people going because they, you know, they want to meet somebody, but they don't want to do it on an app.
Oh, 100%.
And when you're in a space like that, you're kind of safe to just talk to anybody, right?
Yeah, because I guess there's this
the intention.
Notion of, oh, we're all open to engage with people. But it's like dating apps. Before, online dating was like, oh no, that's like for losers. Now it's like everyone, that's the norm. So 100%.
My brother, he came out of an 11-year relationship, and after about like 9 or 10 months, I was like, Tom, I think you know, maybe just try dating apps. Like he dated a couple of people.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, you know, he's like too cool for that. And no, he's not going to do that. And then eventually he decided to go on to Bumble. So he went on to Bumble. This is not an advert for Bumble because I haven't enjoyed it. But the first person he matched with,
yes,
he went on a date with. This was in 2021. And they're now married with 2 children. And it's 2024.
Damn.
And they're very happy. So again, he was ready for what he was ready for, and she was ready, but you know, he put it off all of that time, and you know, timing is everything, but deal done.
Yeah, 100%. That was not an advert for Bumble. It was not an advert.
But
I we feel appreciate like the service it gave.
I feel like those unicorn stories, you know, they do exist, but I don't think that's the experience of the masses. But you know, again, there's there's hope. You know,
yeah, there's more than one ways. There's more, and we have so many different ways to kind of meet people now.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.